Welcome back, guys. Another week and another episode to Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast with your host, Miss D. And you are in for a ride with a very deep and intense episode about, I'll let you listen in. Enjoy. So, welcome back, everybody, to another week and another episode at Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Miss D. As you guys know, I have decided for the month of May to share with you guys a very interesting theme, boss moms, hot mamas, because I believe you can definitely bridge the gap between both of them. And so for this week, my guest, I don't have a drum roll, but I'm going to try to do it over here on this side. I have the one and only Miss Carla Wilmaris here joining me on the show.
I feel like I need a sexy voice on the microphone too. And say, hello, I'm here. Nice to meet you all.
I can't with her. She looks so good doing it too. She makes me so proud.
That was good, right? It's like 1-800.
Yes.
Call me tonight, baby.
That's that girl 6. That's that girl 6. Carla Wilmaris, I'm going to give a very brief background on how I came across to her being. Most people will say this because it has happened to all of us. I happened to just find her on somebody's picture. Her very great, wonderful, loud as hell friend, Mandy. Yeah, she's very loud. And I found a picture and it was just something about Carla that I drew to her. And then I realized, oh, she has a show. And from that moment, I started listening to her podcast. And what I love so much about the Shit I'm 30 podcast show is that besides the fact that I'm nearing more towards my mid-30s, I'm still able to relate to so much of the shit Carla talks about. I'm still going through the shit. It doesn't stop right when you hit 30. That's all the beginning of it. And it might lead into my 40s, which is perfectly fine. But with Carla, then opening, with the Patreon, me joining in and me just being able to relate even further to her, I find myself now with Carla, allow me to make this very, very public. No longer questioning my faith. I have, entered a whole different area and sector of it because it is something that I have questioned in the past. I'm reading more now, with your book club. There's a lot that I've been able to engage in, and I've met some pretty bomb people thanks to your circle, your listeners, and the groups that you have said for your Patreon besties, like you call us.
Yes.
So Carla, if you would like to, and please honor my guests and tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
So you said it all. I'm just crazy. Just a young lady.
Yeah.
33 actually. From Orlando, Florida, born in Puerto Rico, but I've been here most of my life. And basically I was, just a regular schmegler girl from that had accounting, had a baby at 18. So having a baby, as they used to say it back in the day, which pissed me the fuck off. And I had a lot of adversities and a lot of things why I should have quit, should have stopped, should have just settled. And I'm here with you now because I took a different path. And the path was that, follow my dreams, going to lean into that uncertainty of my life and that fear. And I have done so. And I have a show that's became, successful. I have an academy that's become successful. And I have a community of women that now you're saying that because of me, maybe you are exploring more of that faith through the show. I decided to explore more of the faith myself and being able to have a platform where I could speak about it. And sometimes while I'm speaking, I'm just kind of trying to understand it myself. I can help you and I can help myself as well. So it's a win-win for us all.
Yes, absolutely it is. Thank you for that information. Yes. So you guys have been listening to me every single episode. Tell you guys if you're ready to start your podcast, join Idea to Launch Academy. That is the academy Carla's referring to. This is her business. This is exactly what she built from the bottom up to where she is today. She is the reason why I'm here. It's been the guidance, it's been the coaching, it's been all the information to why I have a voice and a microphone and a show to put out every single week. And that is definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show for this theme, because I do admire your journey. where you are today. You have your own business. You are a mother. You do have a teenager, just like I do. Although I do think mine is worse than yours, in my opinion.
I don't know.
I do. I think so.
We might have to compete for that one.
We might have to. We might have to. And like I said before, the show is absolutely amazing for many of us who sometimes need that extra voice to make us feel like, oh yeah, I am going through that shit. Yeah, that is exactly what this feels like. And I don't necessarily have anyone to talk to, or sometimes can I even talk to someone even in my 30s? The judgments are still there, the guilt trips are still there. And so that's where I felt I was able to really relate to you, and felt like she gets me, and she's never even met me, but she gets me 1000%. So since
that's the funny thing about it, because I thought that no one would get me. You're saying that I got you, but when I started, it's because it's like no one understands me. So let me talk about it. There has to be someone. I'm just like, there has to be someone. And for you to say that validates why I started even the blog back in 2017.
Yep, absolutely. So because you did come just on board with your Girl 6 voice, and I'm so happy you did that. I did kind of want to break the little bit of an ice here, because in all this time that I know Carla, I mean, I feel like Carla's a whole new woman. You know, who she is today, everything she has let us in on. So I want to do a little game. I think this has been played around from several different podcasts, and I've heard it before, and I think it's pretty dope and it's pretty cool. But this is raw talk. So we're going to make it a little bit Girl 6 raw talk, the game itself. So I'm going to give you a word or a phrase, and you have to tell me the first thought that comes to mind. Okay? All right. So let me just tell you how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. Okay. The first thing that comes to mind. So the first one, butt plug.
Ouch.
Vibrator.
That
was amazing. She said she did that so good. I didn't even see that.
I was going to use it earlier before this, but I was like, I might really fall asleep if I use it.
Make sure you do it after this. Whip.
A new car.
Okay. Dildo.
No, I don't want it.
Okay. Boat sex.
Exciting.
Condom.
What's that?
Weed.
No, please. No more.
All right. I wanted to break the ice with
I don't want no more.
She's over it, guys. She's over it. So here's what's funny. I'm so happy. When I said weep, or when I said whip, she said new car. My ass is thinking like, I'm about to get flogged here when I'm talking about a whip. She's thinking of a damn car.
But that's, there's a game actually that certain psychologists used to like see what's going in the mind. I was watching, what's the girl? She killed her John and she came out of jail because I think, what's her face? Kim Kardashian helped.
Santea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that her name? Centoya.
I just butchered her name.
Jesus. Yeah, close. Well, I saw them doing like certain questions to her, and it's like trying to see where your mind frame is at, or for you to draw a picture. So something as simple as a whip. I bet you a chef would have probably said whipped cream,
right?
Or like a pie. Your mind is in the gutter, so here you want to get flogged.
I do.
And then I'm sitting here like I'm looking for a new car. So when you said whip, I went straight to like, oh my God, I need to find this damn truck.
Yeah. Just for the record, you could totally use a pie and a whipped cream in the bedroom. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
In case nobody knew, double dose. I just thought y'all should know. With the actual flogging whip and a pie and a whipped cream, there's a lot of magic that can happen.
It sounds like a yeast infection.
No, it's not. It's not. If you take the right precautions, it's not. Okay. All right. So that was a fun little game to play. I just wanted to break the ice a little bit. And I definitely want to go right into as raw as it gets. You guys know with this segment, we talk about and we discuss different things with relationships and relationships, cultures, controversies, news, or even the shit that comes out on social media reporting. But one of the things I definitely wanted to tackle here with Carla is, and I'm titling it, Love, Podcasting, and Privacy. The reason why I wanted to bring it to the table is because I recently, with this new journey of podcasting, I realized that while my career is, quote unquote, legally private sector, my 9-to-5 job, the podcasting industry isn't like that. And as you guys know, Raw Talk, we talk about everything and anything and we keep it raw. And I've thought to myself, how will this either affect or impact me finding a quote unquote partner? And I wanted to have this raw conversation with Carla because, as you guys must know now, because it's now in the open, and I promised I wouldn't say it until she released it. Carla does have not only a relationship but also a partnership, something that I view as a partnership with her significant other, which is another podcaster. And I wanted to dive into that with you because I admire a lot all of your engagement with your listeners, with your followers, with your Patreons. And me having been a fan of who your partner is, I even see a change in him on how he engages with his fans, his listeners, and even with yours. And so for me, it's kind of like, where do you find that balance with the podcasting and the privacy and where your love life falls too? Because you're both in the industry.
So I think both of us being in the same industry definitely helps.
Okay.
And it helps us understand each other, which is, I think, one of the biggest parts. Communication and understanding of partners is where a lot of things fall through the cracks. So I was actually just having this conversation with him a couple of days ago, because when we first started dating, I don't think he understood why I was online as much, why I share as much as I did, or not only what it does for me, but what it does for others, but more importantly, me. So he hated that I would post so much sometimes because he was actually very private. This was not him before this. Right. So you saying that you knew who he was before, we got into a relationship, this is a completely different person for him.
Yes, correct.
He posted maybe once or twice a day, and it was him in an airplane or like something at the station. And that was it. Or a video of his show. That's all you would get from him. You never knew where in the world he was, what he was doing, or who he was doing it with, most importantly. So coming to a person like me, who I'm so public and I'm so out there and loud and share so much, the first couple of months, I think he tried it and realized, this is not what I want. This is not what I'm used to. My bitches are quiet. They stay on the low. Nobody knows about them. They're librarians. So I think that he realized that what I do is I'm, because he's like, at least you're benefiting from it, but he doesn't mean monetarily. Right. He sees and was able to see after time that when I'm talking to you guys as much as I do, or I'm on Patreon, or I'm on live, or I'm replying to everybody and their mama in my DMs, I'm building a community. And he's seeing me doing it from the bottom up, the same way he saw his best friend do it from the bottom up 22 years ago when they were doing it together. So I think he's able to appreciate that. And that's why it works, which is why you have to find the right partner and not try to turn someone else into that partner that's right for you. Right. The right one's already out there. I thought I was doing a build a partner for so many years, and realized that it doesn't matter what happens, whether they're with you from the beginning or not, they're not going to be for it if they're not the right one for you.
Right. Build a partner. That is actually a very interesting name right there. They're not as cute as Build a Bear, because you usually get to choose that one. And you never know what you're going to come across. So I actually happen to like that phrase you just gave it to us, because I have been thinking a lot about this. And for me, it's like, I'm 34 years old. I don't want to find myself building a partner. I want somebody who's going to come with substance and something to the table, with a passion, with drive. And I put those little values out there because, for one, my thanks to your partner. In case y'all don't know, go to her page and see who exactly is her partner. But he does share his time with us too, because you do engage so much with us. And even when you do engage with us, he comes and engages with us also. And at the end of the day, you're if you're not all of him, you're the greatest piece of him. You know what I'm saying? And he still allows that, from the business perspective, but also he sees how important it is to you.
Right. And that part, when he shares with you guys and he engages as well, that's 100% him supporting me.
Right.
If it was up to him, a phone wouldn't be picked up at no point in time. There would be no other human interaction if it was up to him. But when he engages with our fans, his fans, and it's all out of support for me, because he couldn't care less.
Right. Do you find it now, you guys have joined in on now newest business ventures, you guys. The reason why I said the boat sex is because there's now a boat, and it looks like a pretty dope boat. We actually
boats and hoes.
We actually got a first view of how it's evolved into what it is today, and it's amazing to see how you guys built it from the bottom, from scratch. It's completely brand new, a whole new boat. But even with that, even now, still continuing your business partnership, how do you find the balance between the two things? Even, the ambition is there, the understanding is there, but how do you find the balance with both things?
I think it's balanced specifically for us just because we enjoy it.
Okay.
We both enjoy what's going on. So yesterday we got into this fight, lasted probably like 3 hours, and he wouldn't stop tagging me on social media while he was on the boat. And I was so annoyed. I'm like, I'm not reposting this shit. I'm mad at you. So he's very ambitious. So it's like we have a business together. He wants me to learn how to drive it. As I told you guys a couple of days ago, I crashed the fucking boat.
You sure did.
And I'm a very anxious person. So now it's like, it was just a couple of days ago. I just want to break from it. I really don't want to learn how to drive this stupid boat. I mean, I do out in the water, but I don't want to learn like the little ins and outs, the dangerous parts. Mm-hmm. I don't want it. So he wants to force me to do it yesterday. And I was like, no. So with that aspect of it, he wanted me to do something in the business. I just walked away. I said, listen, bye. Stay in this boat by yourself. You can go on your own. I don't want to do it. So later on, we had to talk about it. And it's just be like, I don't want to do this, but I'll do that. Like, what is your role? We know what each other's roles are. Right. I don't go out there and build anything on it or put some screws down or any of that. I'll put gas in it. That's not me. But I'm back here creating spreadsheets and promoting and telling him how to do certain things for like social media. So that aspect of it works. So we know what our roles are. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it works. And there'll be petty little things at times. I'm like, I don't agree with that. Excuse me. But I think we both respect each other's like thoughts. Yeah. Like, and our creativity. So he respects mine. So I respect his. And sometimes, although it sounds crazy, like painting this boat black and chrome, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking of a fancy, like brown, those nice boat things, like black and chrome. And I'm like, that's some real nigga shit. But I didn't think of the fact that it would be mostly niggas renting this for their ladies. A lot of girls come too, but dudes want to be in a cool boat. And I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. Right. I have to trust him and what his ideas are that they'll work. And my trust in him, then later on, it's like, oof, it paid off. Thank you, Jesus. Right. But, it's scary and it's just letting go.
Yeah. With you saying he was tagging you on stories, I did see those stories. But you didn't repost them at all.
So annoying.
That up because that's definitely something, for anyone who does follow Carla and joins in on her lives, and wax doesn't hold back, right? he says what he says and he says it on lives. The other night I found it so interesting, and this is something I just happened to add to the agenda, and for me it was like, that's interesting, right? He's human and he needs his attention from you, and you were on live with us. And he was just like, hang up the live.
Oh, at night, he shut the light off.
Shut the light off on all of us. On all of us. You were in the middle of a live with us, engaging. And he just got up and shut off the light. And for me, first of all, I thought that was the cutest thing ever. Because that's like some shit, anybody's child would do. I'm not calling him a child.
But he is. Oh, he's childish as fuck.
He is. He just shut off the damn light. But for me, it's like, that's interesting to me because we know he embraces everything you do. We know he supports it. We know he embraces us. He has embraced us even through virtual. But even then, like, have you guys had to talk about like, all right, babe, how many times are you gonna go on live today? Like, have you?
So he gives me the look where he's like, all right, it's cool. Like, it's me. And I know the look.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll push it a little bit more just because I like to push buttons.
Yeah.
But I'll push it a little bit and then I know, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go. And then I sit there and talk to him. And as long as he really is like a kid. The second I give him his time and it's like, oh, here I am, and I'm present for a little bit and he gets his attention, then he's fine. I could have went live again after the movie was done, but I fall asleep. But yeah, I just have to make sure that I give him his time, vice versa. He gets caught up out there building stuff or whatever, but he's very attentive. And I'm like, can I get 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Can we do this? And he'll do it. Mm-hmm. So we're very in tune with each other's feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are very in tune also, even with your looks. Like, we noticed that too. When you're on the lives, like, we could be saying, oh, damn, he's not going to fit that mirror in the damn car. And you're just giving him this look like, no, he is. I know he is. He's got this. He's going to do it. So I totally see that connection between the two of you. The other piece I wanted to know with the whole transparency, and this is enormous to me because I learned this from you, actually. I used to be one of those single moms who would say, I absolutely do not bring the person I'm dating around my child. Absolutely not, unless I know it's serious, it's serious, it's serious. And so I've never brought anyone around my kid. And something you have, absolutely said publicly, and you reinforce it, is no, I need to see where's that connection, because I'm not going to waste my time or my child's time or anybody's time. Like, I need to know what's up. I've learned that from you. And it's kind of put me in a space where I've had to reevaluate, well, like, no, maybe I need to do things a little bit different now, because it's true. I shouldn't have to wait till the last minute to then see what my kid feels or what my kid thinks about
You'll
this
choose
person.
differently then also.
Right.
Because if you first you're thinking, well, he's not going to meet him yet, you might not choose the person that you have those things about them, those red flags, like, oh, maybe he's not the greatest for him or her. Let me give him a little bit more time. And then you go building a partner. No, he needs to be that right person for you and your child from the get-go. Perfect? Absolutely not. But at least have those qualities that you need for your children or your kids to be there. Because I know what my daughter needed to be. And I saw it right away. I was like, oh, everyone I dated was okay and cool with her. She liked them. There wasn't anything crazy between him. It was more us that weren't compatible. But with my daughter, perfectly fine. I made sure of that early. I didn't want my daughter feeling uncomfortable because I had just a partner here.
Right. How does that part also work out for you? Again, for me, I'm not used to bringing a lot of these, any of these relationships to my son's area. But how does it work for you? How does the privacy factor come into play then? How much do you let your daughter into it, or how much do you let your daughter see? And even then the relationship.
It's a family. So when I think of us being together, it's like, whoa, now we're a blended family. And I'm big on a blended family, which is why my last relationship, although it lasted so long, that was our biggest rift. His son couldn't be a part of us. And it was mostly because, of course, baby mama drama, but he allowed it. He allowed it. Absolutely, to the point where if we went to the movies, he would take his son to one movie theater and I would take mine to the other. There's no way in hell Wax would do that nowadays. If we had the opportunity to be with his son, it would be all of us together, and we are a family. So I've always wanted this family setting. I just didn't have the right person to do it with. So yeah, the privacy and things, my daughter knows who I'm dating. He'll be around. She's around. We do things together. And if they don't like it, they can go.
Did you always say her name? I'm gonna say her name because that's our niece and we respect her. Did Ayana let you know the moment she knew? Like, I know when you knew Wax was your one, but did she let you know when she knew? Yeah, he's the one.
I think I would say it was probably around October, November. She met him in New York physically because since we were friends before, she had heard of him. She had seen him on FaceTime as a friend, but she just knew him as Wax. So when I tell her we're dating, he comes to meet her at the apartment in New York, and we played games. So everything was still very like interactive, and he's just so good with kids. Like it's not just mine, it's any kid he's amazing with. And he starts the first 2 weekends that he came down, I left her with my brother. I was like, well, she's not gonna hear his hunching like right away, and I don't want her to feel uncomfortable, so spend time with her and I'll drop her off to my brother's house to go to sleep. And then she started being here when he was here, and their interaction was just great. Everything was together. And now she's, well, at the time, 14? At 14 years old, she's old enough to tell me certain things. So I was washing dishes, he was outside, and she just said to me, I'm happy when he's here. Like, I really like him. Yes. Boohoo started crying. Wah, wah. Got a sensitive emo hoe. So that to me was, I think, that outside of her already like wanting to talk to him or saying, oh, when is he coming? Yeah, I like it when he's here. And I'm always asking her, you okay with him being here? Especially for this long COVID time. I was like, are you okay? Yeah. How do you feel? Are you comfortable? And now I get I'd rather be with him than with you. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But I can see from her asking if he's coming by, is he going to be here for this? Oh, where is he at? Did you talk to your boyfriend yet? Where's your boyfriend? Him calling her every morning before school. Every morning. She goes to school at 7 a.m. 6:50, he was on that phone to tell her, hey, Kool-Aid, how are you? Have a good day. Fuck them boys. That type of shit.
Yeah.
So that you can see it's a pattern. It's not just some word. It's a pattern from her, and it's a pattern from him that lets me know, oh, this is going to work.
Interesting. Oh, see, you never told us that. I don't think you've ever shared that she's the one when she lets you know, like,
She did.
And that's the type of, I think that's the type of relevancy we want when it comes to our kids. When they feel that happiness, it's a genuine feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a genuine feeling of acceptance, and like it fits perfect into their life too.
It does.
And so thank you for sharing that, because I've been in all your lives and I know you never shared that with us. And you did get me teary eyed just now. Y'all know I could cry. I always say I could cry at the drop of a pin any day.
It's one of those things though that we've wanted all this. It's like what you think it doesn't exist.
Right.
And for me to be saying it out loud and not like be lying about it, it's so dope. I'm like, oh, this is not a lie. It's real. Or I'm not just hearing it from another fucking podcast, lying, or a show or a book.
Right.
Like I always thought it was fairy tale, white people shit, lying shit.
Right.
And it's real. I'm experiencing it for whatever reason. I'm able to experience it right now.
Right. Right. And for me, I think that's one of the pieces I know I want to see in my future. Mm-hmm. You know, I always say, the way I've set things up for myself as a single mother and for my son, anybody who comes in here, your number one rule is, you're supposed to love me, and have love for my kid and have a friendship with my kid, because there's really not much else he needs. Like I've taken care of pretty much everything. I just need that one little piece. And of course, for that person to have the willingness to want to do that. So like when you say he's called her in the morning, like that's something he genuinely wants to do, to have that bond and that relationship. And that is what really matters. One last question with the whole privacy, because, you know, there's always the relationships, but then there's always the relationships. Oh boy, I have to ask this, because this is something that is brand new to me and I have yet to experience it. But now that we know that he spent a lot of COVID time down there with you and with your daughter, how the fuck have you find the manage and the balance? Because she's 14, so she knows what happens. She knows what gets down between her mama and the partner. Like, how do you do that part? Because I'm new to this teenager life.
So, gosh, she's such a little piece of shit. She told me she heard us one time.
Okay.
Mortifying. So she did tell us, but not the same, like the next day or anything. It was just like one day she's like, I heard you, and I called my friend outside. And I believe I remember the day I was high as a fucking kite. And so I do remember the day she's talking about. But outside of that, she is a teenager. It actually makes it way easier than younger kids. Okay. And I don't really give a fuck about us. So sometimes, as long as they have their phone or their computer or their book or whatever, they'd rather be in their room, not paying us any attention. Ayana is a little bit different, and she does enjoy being around me, as much as she doesn't, quote unquote, like me all the time. She always wants to be up my ass. So we'll watch a movie with her, you know, leave her in our room for a while, and then it's like, all right, you got to go, close the door. And she knows it's going down, but it's just like pillows over the mouth, or just go in the bathroom, or, you know, she's in the shower. We know she takes long showers. Okay, we're going to let her take a long shower now, and we go and do.
Got it.
Things like that. But she did almost walk in on us, like legit twice. One, my pants were halfway down.
Oh my God.
And she closed her. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, we're Patreons and we don't even get this type of information. You've been holding out on us, because you definitely did not ever share that. Ever.
I think I shared that she walked in on us. He's taking my pants out, so we're like, no, we're putting my pants back up. What do you mean? My pants are bothering me. I don't know what I said.
I've certainly, like, you know, that's something that's dawned on me. Like, I have a boy, and it's like, I know he knows what's up. Like, I know he's growing up, but it's like, again, I've never been in that situation. So now that I'm thinking of things differently, right? And I'm like, I don't want to wait, you know, the next time too long. I want to be able to see if there is a connection or not. Then I have to also be prepared for these type of scenarios, because I am dealing with a teenage boy who is still, he's a mama's boy, and his mom.
He's gonna be like, there's a man in there fucking my mom.
Right, exactly. And it's like, I need him
my mom's getting fucked.
Like, yo, that shit is normal. Like, right, your mama needs to get her groove on too. Like, wait till you start fucking. You're gonna be loving it too. So, you know, I have to get my shit, you know, rock too. I don't know.
No, but there's times when they're in school, they go outside with their friends, or they're on the phone, or they're in their room with the computer not paying attention. They're in the shower. You just find ways around it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the honesty and the transparency. That's why I wanted to tackle it with you. Because I know Carla has stories. And this segues right into my double or nothing segment. And this is where we have the free space to vent or to go on a raw rant on a topic of choice. And since we've been talking about the wonderful Yana, we're going to talk about some of the wonderful shit she's been doing to Carla. Parental abuse does exist.
Yes, it's real.
I wanted to tackle this because you have mentioned it a few times, and I felt that. I felt it in my chest and in my soul when you said that it fucking exists and you've been subjected to it.
Yes. And I want to sue her.
You know, I'm so close to just putting this kid on a flight to Florida to his daddy. You know, his daddy lives on there.
Mine is gone.
I can't. No, you don't understand. Like, I love him. I do. I adore his ass. I would kill for him. I would.
Why can't he go for a month?
Because right now, like, his dad is also in healthcare, so it's very busy still down there. I know Florida and some shit trying to open up and all that, but you know they got
chilling.
Yeah, I know he is chilling. He's just busy. He's in healthcare. He's busy, so it's not very possible right now. And so I kind of feel like I've been quote unquote stuck with my kid. You know, with him virtually learning from home. We are in COVID, we're quarantined, taking precautions. He has not been able to go down to Florida for quite some time. And when I've expressed it here in front of some friends and some mostly family, I've kind of been given that dirty look. Like, oh, but he's your kid. Oh, but you know, like, don't say that, like he's gonna hear. And it's like, am I still getting guilt tripped into feeling like I'm just supposed to take it? Like I'm just supposed to tolerate, like I'm just supposed to be okay with it.
What's crazy that those same people don't like their own kids. They've thought it as well.
So like my mom and dad, like they talk a lot of shit, right? Because that's their fucking grandson. But I know they don't like me all the fucking time. I know they don't want to talk to me all the fucking time. They prefer to talk to him. But then that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't have the open space to be able to say, I'm tired of his ass. Like,
so you made your space.
I have. And it's just like, I know you've been experiencing the whole COVID with her at home, school at home, you're working from home. You know, I'm going through the same thing. And it does feel at some point like it becomes parental abuse. Like, I just fucking made dinner for you. I fucking fed you. I'm helping you with your fucking homework. And you still roll your fucking eyes. And you want to go into your room and close the fucking door.
And have an attitude like, like, what the fuck is,
Yes.
It's the money that I keep spending on you, okay? That I could have spent doing something else.
Yes. My question to you is, I know you've shared in the past with all your listeners, you know, you don't really have too many people around you guys. You know, you keep to yourself. But have you dealt with that where you are being quote unquote shamed, quote unquote, like absolutely. With the guilt trips? Like, what is your response to that? For me, it's like, again, this is all new to me. This whole teenager shit is all fucking new. I don't want to go to jail, but I might.
So I have been shamed and spoken to like, well, that's just what it is, by people that have no children or people that don't understand because their children have not been through this yet. So I haven't been guilted. Is that a word?
Make it a word.
We'll make it a word if it's not. I haven't received it so much from older people. Now, I will say family does make it a little bit harder because they just love and adore this cute little monster. Right. And it's like, oh, but they're so cute. They're so cute because you see them once or twice a month, if that. You know, they're so great. And I'm not saying my child is not great because my child is amazing. She is gifted. I love her, but I don't like her many of times. Right. Why? Because we're stuck together 24/7. A lot of couples don't like each other. You know? So what the fuck is the difference with my child? Yes, they get on my nerves, especially when they're all hormonal. So I used to get it a lot, even when she was younger. Ayana would have these mood swings. She had a medical condition since she was 5 years old. So she was actually very hormonal. These teenage years, I've been experiencing since about 8 years old.
Wow.
The mood swings of, you don't understand me. All that I was getting very, very early. So you would think that I'm used to it, but seeing it in a grown woman with boobs, what she looks like, and then an 8-year-old is two different things. So I would say certain things. Sometimes people would be like, oh, but she's just a baby. And now it's like, oh, but she's just a teenager. And I'm realizing, oh, it's because you've never experienced this.
Got it.
So you don't understand. I'm frustrated and I'm allowed to be frustrated. I'm allowed to not like the motherfucker right now. And I'm allowed to say whenever I'm ready to like him again, I'll come back around as long as they have shelter and food.
Right. Right.
Why am I going to overwhelm myself and drive myself crazy because everybody thinks that, oh, the right thing to do is for us because you're a woman and you're a mom. You have to be perfect. No, suck my dick. I'm not perfect and I'm not supposed to be. And I need my time. And now as a teenager, I can say my time means go to your fucking room and leave me alone.
Yeah.
Before it would be like you're going to your grandma's or you're going to your uncle's or you're going to a friend's house or whatever the fuck. But now it's like, shut the fuck up, leave me alone, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I've done that. Talk to me tomorrow. That's
Right.
fine. They will survive.
Somebody was going to go to bed yesterday without food. No lie. I almost got to that point. I actually shared with some of
not without food. Wait,
no, you don't understand. No, you don't understand.
We gotta feed them.
No, let me tell you. Like it was just so it was so bad. Like I know I have to feed them, guys. Like it was only a threat, but it came out of my mouth. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like and then I had to like rethink it because I remember how old was he? Maybe 8, 9, or 10 or some shit like that. You ever heard when your parents say like I brought you into this world and I could take you out?
I say it all the time.
Well, I used to say it all the time until one day he went downstairs all sad to my mother, devastated. She was like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? You know, he's the last grandchild. And he's like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. My mother said she's going to take me out of this world. And I got the only phone call at work talking about when you come home to get him, I'm going to fuck you up. How dare you threaten to kill him? I was like, first of all, I never said I was going to kill him.
Are you threatening to kill me now? So is this like one parent, two parents trying to kill their own kids?
I was like, all I said was this phrase. I brought him into this world and I could take him out, but he went and did the whole fucking drama. So yes, he did get slapped that night for going to talk shit about his mama to my parents. Okay. But then yesterday when I got home, you know, he has a cell phone. I FaceTimed his ass. I got home from work in a cab. I said, be ready, be dressed, mask on, gloves on. I'm coming home with your pizza. A big ass box holding his pizza. Okay. All right, Mom. I called him with enough time. Ask me where the fuck he was when I got home. He was
not where he's supposed to be.
He was nowhere to be found. When I tell you,
they do that. Oh my God, that's like when I go pick up Anna from school, she disappears.
Thank you. My fucking point exactly. Why must you trigger me? Why must you abuse me? I'm coming home with all my shit that I just went to work with. I'm tired. I'm stressed. Just want to come home in peace, feed your ass so I could do my work, my podcasting work now because I just came doing my 9 to 5. No, he was nowhere to be found. But he still ate though, right? You still got fed. You couldn't help your mama. And it's those little things that I'm like, this is parental abuse. This is the constant fight. I feel like
assholes.
Teenagers we're facing. And the sad part is I'm pretty sure I did this shit to my parents too. So I think I owe them an apology. I don't know yet, but I just felt that. I felt it when you put that phrase out there. I felt it when it's like you're expected to know what to do because you've been a parent this long. Right. And so you have no space to complain, or because they're not such bad kids like some kids out here. You know, you're not supposed to vent about them.
Right.
But I needed to have this moment to raw rant it and to vent with someone and, you know, give that light to you because you really put it in the perfect words. They're smart. They're kids, but they're smart and they know what they're doing and they know how the fuck to do it. And I just felt like with this COVID times, I'm really fucking feeling it. Like, I don't know how his teacher says he's such a good student. Like,
oh gosh, it makes no sense.
I know he's a good student, but this motherfucker likes to like bother and he talks.
He's a terrible son. He's a terrible son.
In my fucking face all the time. And I love him, dude. Like, I love him. He's funny as shit. But I need a break. I need a fucking break. And lately, maybe it is the hormones, like you said. I haven't even thought of.
Well, it's not only that, Daisy. We were made to have two parents. You know, the way that this is designed, it takes two people to get together to create a baby. And they're supposed to be taking care of them together. And that does not mean financially.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to bear the responsibility of a child and of a teenager and of a young kid and even as adults as two. So we are also dealing with the fact that we are single moms.
Yeah.
You know, and thank God for whatever reason, you know, back in January when my baby daddy got fired and I was pissed, he stopped paying child support. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is what it is today.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking to you right now, I'm realizing, you know, wow, I was so angry and I'm like, oh, this nigga's not paying out. I was so stressed out, but I didn't know that God had a bigger purpose. Hey, you're about to send her to him for 3 months, which you've never done in 15 years.
Right.
And I didn't see that. And there's no way of me being able to see that back then, because that was just a plan for the future that I didn't know was going to happen 4 months later. It was just 3 months of why. And then I realized, oh my goodness, she's been gone now for a month and a half. This is why. This is what was supposed to happen, and come out of that terrible space where I wasn't receiving anything. So for us to be frustrated, we don't bear the half of the responsibility and the emotional abuse that they create between two. It's just us. We're getting the whole thing. So if we were together with their other parent, it would be a lot easier on us. It would be half and half, the way it's supposed to be. And during that other half, you renew yourself, you recuperate to be able to deal with them again. But we don't get that recoup time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't get that. I haven't gotten that because of this whole COVID stuff has changed so many plans. Right. He hasn't been able. He was supposed to go for spring break to Florida in April when I was supposed to go to Jamaica. And so those plans changed for both of us. You know, he was looking forward to going. His daddy was looking forward to going. Like, his dad is hoping there's a miracle so he could get him the whole summer like he has before. And it's like, you know, his father sees it, like his father understands it, like, you need your break. I get it. He's like working you up. That was definitely part of my raw rant today. I needed to release the shit. One last thing that just came to my head, because it actually popped up in a conversation between the two of us. I know you've always kept it very raw with your daughter with the whole sex talk. How has that evolved for you? Because the talk came up in my house, and the talk was about porn stars. It was about condoms. The question started coming from that side. And so I diverted and I said, call your father, because I chose not to have that conversation. Like mission. Yeah, I couldn't do it. How has that evolved for you? Because I know how it was in the beginning when you started having those conversations, but where are you today with that, with the sex talk with a teenage girl?
Today, we are in the masturbation and porn stage of it all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. She knows about it. She's heard about it. And it's more of not shaming, but in my household, also no need to go finding out too much more just yet.
Got it.
Give it time. I know that there's the view on this is very different throughout different people. Like, everyone thinks about it differently. But for me, I don't see the need to have sex before 18. I don't see the need to have sex in high school. Could it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? I don't know. I pray not, and my plans for her are not those. But I also don't want to shame her for feeling certain things.
Right.
So I'm hoping that what I can do different from my parents is let her know those feelings are normal. Let her know curiosity is normal, but that curiosity also killed the cat.
Sure did.
You know, so what you're curious of, I can talk to you about it. Yes, you won't experience it yet, but it's coming. And when it comes, wait, take these people as an example. And I can just hope that she'll learn from others' mistakes and not want to do them herself. But that's something that only time will tell. And she's her own human at the end of the day. She'll become her own woman.
Did she come and ask you about like pornography and like actual sex toys, or like did you catch it?
She stole my vibrator.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. To this day, I don't know if she used it or not. I just know I threw it away.
Okay.
So she took it. I couldn't find it, but I was like, there's no, bruh, I can't find it, but nah. Luna. It was a dog. Had to have been the dog. Luna. Or I misplaced it, or I put it somewhere wrong. Then I'm looking all the way. I think she knows that I'm looking for it because I'm opening and closing that drawer like it's going to, by the 5th time, it's going to appear back. And it's not. So the next morning or that night, I just know it was hours later, it was there. And I'm like, something's up here. Like, this wasn't here. So the next day I asked her, did you put this back in here? And she was like, yeah, I was just using it because it just felt funny on my elbow. And I'm like, you couldn't come up with a better lie?
Oh, girl, not elbow.
Your elbow?
Not what? The elbow.
So she's like, no, I didn't know what it was. My friends and I were talking about it. And I'm like, were you? So I really don't know really what happened with the vibrator. But then it became a conversation. I'm like, first of all, you know what it is. And that's disgusting. Why would you ever touch it? Like, you know what it is. You're curious, and you probably put like vagina juice all over your hands, bro. And she's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, be grossed out because you're disgusting. The fact that you even touched it grosses me out. So I threw it out. We had the conversation about toys then. And then pornography, I knew that she knew about it, and there had been a lot of talks because of some TikToks and some social media.
Oh, okay.
So then I saw her history and I was like, oh, it's been there. She's been curious about it. So we had the talk, and I'm very much so against her in the pornography world, just because pornography is not real. And there's so much in there that can fuck her up. And I don't need her to seeing or having on things that aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? Just things that aren't real. She's expecting things that aren't even real from that. I can think of, there's a word I want to use, but I can't fucking think of it.
I feel like I understand you on that, because I'm very selective even with the pornography I watch, because some of them, like, knowing what I know today as a woman, is like none of this shit does it for me, right? Like there's certain specific things that will trigger me. So for me, it was like when he came with him, the conversation wasn't, oh, mom, I found a porn site. It was more like I heard him talking with his guy friends and they were talking about porn stars. And I'm like, first of all, y'all just grew like pubes. What the fuck are you talking about? You guys have favorite porn stars. And so I kind of, yes, girl. Yes. This is how bad that conversation was.
The worst.
And I heard the names and I'm like, all right, well, the porn stars are pretty exclusive, the ones that the naming, right? So I'm like, all right, that's not bad. But I did kind of have to ask him and like tell him, like, you know, it's like a rabbit hole. Be careful what links you're clicking on. Be careful what you're looking for, because you're gonna come across some shit that's gonna be like ew to you. You know, you're gonna go on this whole discovery shit. Or, you know, if you have questions, fucking ask me. Don't just go start clicking on everything and anything, because you're gonna come across some shit that you're either not gonna like. It's gonna be
some disturbing shit that can really fuck them up.
Right. And that's what I told him. I said, there, you have time. You have time to like things. You know, you have time to grow up. Me, I started very, very young. So I'm all for the checking on the phones and being realistic parents, because I still have, you know, other parents, friends, and family who don't believe their children are sexting or don't believe. And that's not what I'm about. Like
how many dicks I found. Well, not the picture of the dicks, but like, oh, something dick or fuck. Or I'm like, who is this talking on these text messages? Like, dick? Who wants dick? Oh, she wants dick. Well, let me take her to the trail. See how much dick she wants. Haha, it was just a joke. That's not funny, but
it's not.
But I think back to me in school, and I remember saying dumb shit that I didn't even mean. Half the time, I didn't even know what it was. I remember specifically, I must have been about 14 years old. And I went to Puerto Rico. I left Puerto Rico at 8 years old. So my friends used to make fun of me because this is a transition period where I was learning a lot of English and I wasn't going back. I didn't want to tap into the Spanish side much because I really wanted to fit in here. So this girl told me to scream at this guy. So we're outside on the street in the neighborhood. And she's like, scream at him, dame deo. And I was like, huh? So I'm thinking, flick, like, okay.
The finger.
So I was like, dame deo. And they're all laughing. And they're like, say it again. And I'm like, dame deo.
Oh my God.
I'm flicking him off as I'm doing it, thinking it's so funny. I'm like, I'm a comedian today. I'm making everybody crack up. Little did I know, way later, that I was telling the guy to finger me.
Yes, I know that.
Right. I didn't know this at that age. Therefore, I know she's saying things on that phone that sound cool. Like, I want something about dicks or whatever nasty ass shit they're saying, because they've never been gang bang or none of that shit, you know? You don't know what that feels like or what it really is. So you're just saying it because you think you heard it in a song or somebody on TikTok or Instagram was saying it to insult somebody else. And now you're like, you said it. What did they do it to you though?
Right.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I didn't know. What if that nigga would have turned around for me at 14 and be like, all right, here you go. Take all 5 fingers.
Right.
You know? Or he would have found me at 9 and be like, oh, you were screaming at me telling me to finger you. Well, here I am. Take it.
Yep. What's up?
So you say you can take it. I explain these things to her. It's like, sometimes you don't play with fire. You stay here sexting these little boys and saying little things to them. When you see them and they want to cash in on whatever you told them over that text message, what you gonna do then?
Yeah.
When they don't want to take no for an answer then. So we had those definitely very raw conversations about, you know, rape is real and teasing somebody is real and somebody not having control of themselves is very real.
And that's my end of the responsibility, where I have to explain to Marcus what no means no. And it's not just the words. It's not just 2 letters. Like, if her eyes look like it's saying no, if her fingers or her hands or her shoulder or her arm or her legs, if anything in her body is remotely indicating to you that she is saying no, then no means no, because consent is everything. He actually shared with me that there was, I'm not going to give too much information on this, but there was a young lady through Snapchat that was sending
Slut!
nudes, nudes,
You fucking slut.
their age. And I just said, the first question I asked my kid was, does she understand what she's doing? Like, does she
don't know what the fuck
understand
she doing.
what she just did by sending out to all you friends, you know, these nudes of hers?
She was sending it to more than one?
So on Snapchat, you can select who you send shit to. I guess she felt like Oprah and decided to send her little Snapchat nude to several of the classmates. Like she was Oprah giving out a fucking little nude. And so for me, it's like, you know, it's not about going and running and snitching to her mama. It's about, to your point, to what you said. You know what I mean? You're sending this shit out. You're going to encounter one of the boys is going to say, oh, all right, you want something? Let's go. And then it becomes a bigger fucking problem.
Right. And I think for boys also, that's more of a girl standpoint, but for a boy, you have to be careful who these girls are. They don't all have me as their mama.
Right.
You know, some of them have them. They're raising them to say, hey, if they got a little money, if they're good at a little something, or lie, or they feel fear of being perfect, and then they have to lie. They might have sex with you, but it's like, oh my God, I'm the good girl of the family. I have to say I got raped. You have to be very careful. Like, no matter how much you might like these little girls, they don't take care of themselves and they're willing to lie. So for a boy, it's like, just keep it in your pants for a little bit longer.
Thank you. That's
or
exactly what.
Find you somebody a little bit older. I don't know. Sometimes I see the rationale in wax and like dealing with older women as a younger kid, but it's because nobody should be doing it in my opinion. But if you do for a boy, I'd rather you do it with somebody older just because you don't know how that young girl is going to react. And then there goes my son who didn't do anything and now he's getting raped and they're going to believe that little girl.
Of course. And speak on it, Carla, because it's something that's real. It's something we see happening. It happens all the time. It's still happening.
It's going to keep happening. And as long as there's white people alive.
Yeah, amen.
My bad. I'm sorry. That's
That's all right. We're not IG patrolling over here. It's a free space. You can
say. This figure is going to kick me out.
Yo, we both got banned the same week. I got banned. You got banned.
I'm getting off this podcast. I don't want to be with criminals. I can't, you know,
this
after
is a
you do Fed time, you can't be together. Two felons can't hang out together.
They gonna ban the show. Watch. I want to thank Carla for coming on this Raw Talk platform to put it out there for me on these two topics that I wanted to definitely tackle with you. Always a pleasure working with you. Thank you for being my coach. I always add my little promo to Idea to Launch Academy, but I'm going to do it right here, right now. This is her. This is she. This is how I am now. What's going to be episode 12. It's real to get into.
You're about to be a teenager, girl. You're a tween.
I know. I didn't understand the feeling that it would be to get an email that says, "Oh, you've charted," and to see a ranking. I didn't understand the excitement behind it. I think I told you once. This is like the level of excitement and the emotion of it is the equivalent of having a bachelor's degree and a master's degree come in through the mail and saying, oh, hey, congratulations, graduate. This is my baby. This is my product. This is something that I've been able to do thanks to you. Idea to Launch Academy is real. There are plenty of us who can attest to it. Yes. There are plenty of shows out there that she has helped get to where we are today and keep going. Do you know more or less how many shows Idea to Launch Academy is behind on? Like
over 130 at this point.
There we go.
No, it's actually more. That was before last month. So we're almost at 200.
Okay, there you go, guys. Idea to Launch Academy. It's going to be in my show description. There's a link right there. Make sure you click on it. You can do this self-paced within 30 days.
And you should feel really proud to the fact that you're at 12. I sent an email not too long ago, and I was talking about how over 90% of podcasts end by they don't even make it to 3 months podcasting. And I was having a consultation. I was speaking on how big of a thing it is when a podcast reaches 100 episodes.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often at all because it's really hard to stay consistent. So the whole point of the Academy is not just to have you launch a podcast in 30 days, but for you to keep going and then have a community that helps you keep going and keeps pushing you. Because can you imagine, but can you imagine launching a podcast, figuring it out on YouTube and Google? You got it out there, but then it's just you putting things out there. You don't have a community of podcasters with you. Yes, they're out there and you can reach them, but what about if you have 100 plus people around you and they're all like pushing you and you become like this group of friends that you probably never even met? And that's what happens with podcasting. That's why Idea to Launch is so near and dear to my heart, because it's not just teaching people how to launch it. That part you can figure out on Google and YouTube is how to launch it and keep going and be consistent with it, because so many hundreds of thousands fail and have failed
Yeah.
and stop recording.
Yeah. And let's not forget the fact that she's like, she teaches you to be and reminds you you're supposed to be your number one fan, but Carla's legit like cheering you on all the way through. She's like, you're a cheerleader right there.
I mean, if you're doing the damn thing,
Yeah.
there's the ones that enter the academy and then they kind of half-ass it and they know who they are and they're just like doing the bare minimum or just kind of wanted to see what was in there and purchase the course and just leave it sitting there, which I'm sure we can all attest to, buying certain things or gym memberships or whatever it is, and you're like, I'm paying for it, but I'll get to it later. Then there's people like you and so many of other podcasts that basically buy the course and go to work. When I buy certain things, I'm like, I just purchased it. I'm going to work and I'm going to put 110% in it. And the results show. When someone comes to tell me I've never ranked or I've never done anything, I'm like, probably because you're trying to be someone else or you're not putting in the work.
Right. Exactly.
So I teach you how to be yourself, be authentic, come as you are. Don't be intimidated by anybody, because the space that I'm in, I had to get here by not being intimidated by anybody else. It's just, I'm in my own lane, put my blinders on. So put your blinders on, be yourself, launch your show, and consistently keep going. That way you can do the damn thing just like you and everybody else.
Yeah. Be yourself. That's the key component here that Carla has definitely reinforced, and it has stayed with me throughout this journey. We'll continue to do so. Y'all, I'm no shame in this. I know I've known her. I've interacted with her. I've engaged with her. I've spoken to her. I listened to her fucking lives every day. But I was so fucking nervous to do this. I'm not even gonna lie.
You shut up.
I was, and I have no shame in admitting that, because the truth is, respect is huge for me. All my listeners know that by now. 12 episodes in, respect is huge. I'm about who earns it from me, and you've earned it in more ways than one. And I wanted to bring you on this because I see all of your success, and you are probably one of the most humble people I've ever gotten to meet.
Thank you. Tell my mama that.
Yeah, I will. Just tell me where and when, and I'll do it. Thank you so much. I love you so much for coming on this platform, for sharing this with me and my listeners. Y'all, this is another week and another double dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D, and you will tune in next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.